And now today, we have the one and only special guest for the month of May is none other than Mr. Chef Joy. Chef, what's going on, baby?
It's good.
How we doing?
We chilling. How you doing?
Hold on,
Yo,
let me just raise your
Pandroid
volume.
got me. Oh my god, Pandroid got me
I
rolling,
mean,
dude.
why? I mean, how? I don't even know how he's making the text smaller. I don't know how
Yeah,
he's doing it, but
I
he's
don't
doing
get
it.
it.
And man, well, Chef, thank you for coming on. I've been wanting to have you on ever since I saw you in that onesie when I first saw you. So first, how are we doing, man?
We chilling. We chilling. Got done with work. Now just opening up time for you, baby.
Hell yeah. So I always like to start out with the first question as, how did we first meet?
How did we first meet? I think so. Two of my friends, Corey Max Music as well as Canvas Music, invited me to your stream once. I think Canvas said something along the lines of like, "Oh, there's this streamer who does like these beat flips every Saturday. You guys should participate." So then Corey and I joined. Um, I flipped a beat for you, and we hit the ground running ever since.
I remember it was the Animal Crossing beat, right?
It
Yeah,
had a little
yeah.
bit of Animal Crossing in it, yeah.
I my whole first impression of Chef, or really the first time I met Chef, was obviously he sent in a beat, and I was able to figure out and find out that Corey was the one that brought Chef over to the flip stream, and then I rated Chef after, and dude's in a dinosaur onesie playing Jack in the Box with his community, and I'm just like, and there's a big ass teddy bear right behind him. So I'm just like, I don't know, man. I think this guy is like right up my alley. A onesie, teddy bear, Jack in the Box. Like you
That
can't get
was
a better first impression on Twitch.
that was such a yeah. For some reason, my community decided to redeem their rewards then.
I don't.
And then you rated, and I was just like, oh, not like this, not like
Unfortunately,
this.
yeah, I remember you distinctly saying not like this. I distinctly, unfortunately, you didn't do any dancing with the bear that night. Unfortunately.
Dance with the bear. I don't know what you're talking about.
Um, so once again, I just want to reiterate. So every month I look to bring on a special guest onto my stream, and it's really just people that I've gotten to know throughout my time here on Twitch, and just being in music, and people that stick out to me as people that are really dope, people that I really see as talented, and just for me too. Obviously, I bring on special guests that I have the privilege of calling my friends, but another reason why I love doing these is I'm able to get to know you, the special guest, even a little bit more and better. And so I'm going to first start with the question I always start with. And however way you want to start, you want to answer, Chef, how did you get started?
Um, so I always kind of had like a music background. My family was pretty good about pushing all of us doing like piano lessons and like orchestra and stuff like that. I did a little bit of jazz in high school. But mm, it didn't really like click and make sense for me until I hit undergrad at Santa Barbara.
Mm,
Um, and I started DJing every single weekend. I wasn't really like a huge partier, but I did like to like DJ and like
mm,
listen to like good music. So started off DJing, did that for like 4 years. During that time, like transitioned from like just playing other people's tracks to like messing around with transitions in Ableton, and then being like, oh, like it'd be cool to play my own stuff. Started making EDM. Um,
no way.
yeah, EDM chef.
What year was this?
This was Um, 2015, 2016.
Oh, prime.
It was I was really into like Borgore, RL Grime, Bauer type of trap
Mm. Mm,
music.
mm, mm, mm,
So I was making a lot of that. And then I got into selling beats for other people.
mm. Mm-hmm.
And at one point I was just like really tired of waiting for people to send vocals back
Mm.
or people that wanted to collaborate with me. They would just take forever to do vocals back. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna start learning how to rap or sing a little bit. And then
There
so
was
that
a
was like in 2017, and then kind of it just I never really took it seriously or too seriously until maybe like 2 years ago,
hmm. There
2019-ish.
was a lot in that abridged breakdown. I'm gonna break it. We're gonna go into each part because I want to dive into each of them. So we're gonna start from the beginning. You started with
Okay.
DJing. First, tell
hmm
me why. Was
Um,
it a person?
because
Was it a an opportunity? What made you go with the push of okay, let me start learning this?
yeah, so I remember freshman year when I went to the dorms, there was somebody who was always playing really loud music on my floor, and one day I just like stopped by
Yeah.
and I saw him with like really like simple USB trackpad, and I
Mm.
was like, "Oh, like you're just DJing music." And he and I actually still keep in contact ever since, but he was like, "Yeah, like I just like to DJ and listen to like dummy hard music." I was like, "I like to listen to dummy hard music too. Like, why don't we become
Yeah.
friends?" And then um so we lived together pretty much like I was an RA my second year, so not so much, but I was always up at his house and he had these like big old JBL speakers. So we would kind of like sell ourselves to the people, the college community, and just be like, hey, do
Mm.
you guys need a DJ for your party? Like you can just pay
Oh.
us in drinks or like $20 each and we're chilling. Um
20 for the rate or 20 total?
20 total. It started off real cheap. And then
I love that.
during our 4 years we kind of like established a little bit of recognition
Yeah.
within the college community, and then like obviously like our rates got higher and like he and I started DJing at like the clubs in Santa Barbara.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's how the DJing first started. It was just like, who's that person making noise? How can I make
What
that
was your
noise?
DJ name?
It was still Chef Joy.
Okay. Okay.
hmm
And okay, let's talk about that too cuz I guarantee 60% of the people in the chat, they actually don't even really get your name. I think some of them still don't. How old were you? When did you decide this is going to be my alias?
So Chef actually started back in high school.
No
Um,
way.
I swam competitively. That's actually
Uh-huh.
how I got to Santa Barbara. I got in for swimming.
Mm.
But I it's a really dumb story. I
So
think I
you
was
had
at
an
a
8-pack in high school. Okay, go on.
um I was in better shape than I am now. Let's just
Yeah,
leave
yeah.
it at
All
that.
right, 6-pack. He's being modest. 6-pack.
Um I long story short, I was at this like high school party. The police showed. I ran. I jumped over a fence. I ended up breaking like a bone in my hand.
Oh no.
So during swim practice, I had like a cast, right? So I
Yeah.
had to wear this like glove over my cast to
Yeah.
protect it so I can still swim. And then someone was like, "That's like an oven mitt." Chef, oh, and then that kind of started there. And then in
Wait, an oven mitt was your cast?
it's like a rubber oven mitt, and then you can
Oh.
like vacuum seal it so that no water can get in.
Okay, okay.
So I was doing yeah.
Wait, quick
So
question. Why'd you jump over a fence?
to run from the police.
Okay, so we have an 8-packed high schooler running from the cops. He ends up with a rubber glove sealed tight on his wrist, and then you name yourself chef. What year in high school?
This was junior year, so 2011.
So it started as a nickname from your friends.
So, yeah, it started off as a
Ah,
nickname with my group of friends, and then um, in college, the same guy who introduced me to DJing, Um, he kind of came up with it on his own because I think he was like, I think after one night, after going out, both of us were not sober, and he was just like, "Yo, if you switch the first and second part of your first and last names, do you know it becomes Chef Joy?" And I was like, "Dude, they used to call me Chef at high school," and then it just kind of snowballed, and all my other friends were just like, "Hell yeah, like, well, let's roll with it."
Oh man. Okay. You don't have to answer, but why were you running away from the cops? Move on. Move on. Move on. So Chef Joy was birthed actually in high school as a nickname. One of your loud ass floor mates was bumping up music, and you had to come by. It was dummy hard music, and he started teaching you DJing,
Mhm.
and then you started making your own beats. How much time from DJing at the college parties to making your first beats?
So we started DJing parties spring of 2013.
Mm.
Around spring of 2014
Mm.
is when I first got Ableton, and then
Wow.
because we were because transitions kind of tend to be like a big thing for DJs.
Yep.
So we were making just like little 8-bar loops that we
Mm-hmm.
can like put in as filler that
Mm-hmm.
would help with our transitions in
Yeah.
our sets. So that's how like that's the very first beginning of like production. It's just like we're taking stock Ableton drums and like making little loops that will help us transition from like one song to another. And then like obviously as we like spent more time with Ableton, we're like, all right, well like maybe like what does a flanger do? Like what is
Yeah.
like how much chorus is too much chorus
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Okay. And this throughout that whole summary, I think the most intriguing part was Chef Joy started with EDM.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Um Listening to a lot of Hardwell my freshman year.
Let's
A lot
go.
of Swedish House Mafia my freshman year. A lot of like just big festival house my freshman year just because my floor ended up being like the EDM floor.
Oh.
Um and like me and my friends there were a little problematic. So we tended to be a little bit loud. Like I think every single room in that on that floor of like I want to say at least 20 different rooms. Everyone at least had like rockets or like bigger size speakers.
Yeah.
So there's always music on my floor and we were
Mm-hmm.
always getting like noise violations and stuff like that. But yeah, we I started off with Swedish House, got really into that scene, discovered like A track
mm-hmm.
and like
Mm-hmm.
RL
Mm-hmm.
and like caked up and just like that genre of
Yeah.
trap and just got really because I mean you can kind of see it in today's music too where it's like really bouncy and like
Yep.
really
Yep.
high energy
Yeah.
that still translates over so that like immediately attracted me
Mm.
and then yeah just like getting really into synth design and
So were you listening to EDM back in high school too?
no high school was still mainly hip hop.
Mm.
College was like like the birth of EDM chef.
Mm.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So in a way, it really did kind of follow what was popping throughout the years.
Yeah. My music has always, and like my taste in music has always, only recently has it kind of like solidified into like what I really like.
Yeah.
And generally, it's like whoever I'm around or like
Mm-hmm.
what other people's energies resonate with me. And then like, of course, like we end up gravitating towards like the same music and like the same ideas in terms of like song design and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So.
So when you started now making your own beats and putting your own vocals on it, was it from the get go rapping, or did it start with singing?
Started with rapping.
Okay.
Um, I I would say I'm not the best singer. I'm still learning, especially like visualizing my voice and
Yeah.
like how people push out air and like just making sure that I can hold a key and like sing from like deep within instead of
Mhm.
just like up in the neck and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
rapping came a little bit more naturally, just because like I tend to, I guess, resonate a lot more with just like drums and percussion in general. So
Yeah.
like having like rapping became like a almost like a percussion instrument for me, where it's just like I can like figure out like the rhythm of the rap and then just fill in the words later.
Right. Do
So
you know how to play any instruments?
yeah, I still know a couple. I used to play harp in high school. I still have my
That's
French
right. I remember you
horn.
mentioning that.
Yeah, I got my French horn here. I haven't touched it in like a decade, but it's still here. I forgot a lot of piano, unfortunately.
Mhm.
Um, I know how to play drums.
Mhm.
I know how
Which
to
one
play
was your first instrument?
piano would be my first
Okay.
piano lessons.
Classic. Classic. um that and did you officially start rapping once you started making beats, or did it start for earlier than that?
Um, it started a little bit earlier. There's just a group of people that I used to roll with that um to get us out of some like not so great situations, we turned to like rapping or like
Mhm.
doing art. Like
Mhm.
I'm still like a pretty avid painter and drawer.
Mm.
But yeah, we kind of were thinking there was like a moment, I won't go to in depth because it's like really personal, but like
Sure.
there was a moment where like for me there was like a switch where it was like I need to like get my act together and actually find different outlets to like
Mhm.
expend a lot of this energy and stuff like that. And rapping became one of those things that kind of was like a baseline thing and has now kind of evolved into like its own entity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm curious. I know we're kind of going back and forth with the timeline, but what was your did you have a dream growing up, whether it was in high school or middle school? Did you have a picture in your head?
Like around music?
Just in general, like for me growing up, I actually wanted to be an artist, someone that draws, right? So that was ever since really the beginning of elementary school. What about for you? Did you
Yeah.
have anything like that?
Um, I mean, like, if we're going to elementary school, it was a race car driver because I just got a need for speed. But back in high school, actually, I was trying to. I think I mean it was all over the place. Like at one point, it was like I wanted to be an astronaut, and then it kind of evolved into like really wanting to get into like mechanical engineering,
Mhm.
and then I realized I didn't put enough time into like my grades
Mhm.
to get into the engineering program. So then
Mhm.
I was like, what else do I want to do? Um, but yeah, that was like for high school, it was like that. College was kind of like my moment to like, all right, like let's actually like sit down and be realistic about like what resonates with me and like what I would really enjoy doing. Um, and that was a whole struggle too, like going in undeclared, switching my major like 3 times.
Yeah. What did you end up getting your degree in?
I got my degree in it's called biopsychology. It's
Mhm.
basically just like it's psychology with applications to it.
Uh-huh.
So like a little bit of neuroscience, a little bit of like behavioral, a little bit of just all these concepts mixed together.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what I know you said you came into college undeclared. So what about bio psychology was what about it stuck?
Um, I think, well, I've always been pretty good with sciences. And I've always really been interested in like how people think and like how people process different things, especially looking at like trauma or like good things, bad things, like why are people the way they are, like
Mhm.
um towards like the end of my college career, it got to a point where I was like, how does like music interact with people's like neurological
Mm-hmm.
processes? That's actually what I did one of my theses on.
Uh-huh.
Um, just really interested in just like how the brain like absorbs information and how it processes it, like uses all these. I could nerd out super hard. I ended up actually getting my master's in marriage family therapy too.
Mm.
So like we went like deep into
Mm-hmm.
psychology,
Mm-hmm.
um, but just like really interested in how people operate
Yeah.
and just how people like why do people view the way they things they do and
Yeah.
like how does perception differ based on like what's going on neurologically in the head as well as like what the foundations are, yada yada
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious to ask, with that background, not just a bachelor's but a master's in psychology, do you see that being applicable as you are now a public personality and a Twitch streamer? Is there some alignment there? Is there some relevance there?
yada. I mean, like my community knows on Twitch that like whether it's on Discord or on stream, like
Mm-hmm.
one of the big things I always push for is like having a space for people to be themselves and
Mm-hmm.
to promote just like not only it being okay to not be okay, but also it being okay to be okay and
Yeah.
to share like your thoughts and like just basically create an open space where people can like support each other and be there to listen, be there to gas people up, be
Yeah.
there to like humble
Mm-hmm.
too, like having friends in my community that will keep you responsible.
Mm-hmm.
My community knows that that's something that I've always pushed forward and wanted to create just
Mm-hmm.
because that for I mean for me that's really important and in my learning of like psych and stuff like that, keeping those spaces open like that where people can be transparent and like the intentions are transparent has
Mm-hmm.
always been important. Um, that's really like the only way that I guess that really, I mean, probably in other ways that I just don't know. Like maybe for some people it's like a form of therapy or like it's just a space for everyone to goof off and like release some of that energy. But like in terms of like what I envision as a public figure,
Yeah.
um, that's that's the only thing that I really push forward in terms of like a psych perspective.
Yeah. I respect that, and I've definitely seen that in action too. You know, even with your study streams, you have let your community know what you do on the side. What are your other essentially hustles? How are you like making a living off other means aside from Twitch, and seeing that in action too? So I respect that. Bridge the gap for me with the timeline now. So we went from being a hotshot on DJ Campus, start playing at parties, to clubs, to 8-bar loops, to your own beats in Ableton,
Mm-hmm.
and then you start rapping slash singing because you're tired of waiting, and continue the timeline for me now.
From that point, I I mean, there's like a lot of like random stuff in between. Like at some point, like after college, there's a trip to Korea.
Mm-hmm.
There was another trip to, I had family in Zambia, like Africa.
Yeah.
So I stayed there for a little bit and made music there.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, so after college, obviously I'm not working at the clubs anymore because I moved out of Santa Barbara back to Northern California.
Yeah.
I was still wanting to like be invested in music somehow, so I turned to BeatStars, right? Just started making beats and trying to sell it like that. But I mean, I've had conversations with you and like other members of the community where it's just like I'm really about the collaborative aspect, like
Mm-hmm.
creating something together instead of like here's a type beat, do whatever you want with it.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
actually building together and, like, both people, like, working alongside each other to make something really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so with that perspective, I push more for collaborations, and then people would take forever to get back, which makes sense because
Yeah.
like, life is life. Um, so I I forgot how I think I started with, like, some really cheap USB mic and just plug that in and just, like, played around with a couple loops. Eventually, like, I'm meeting more and more people that, like, produce music that were, like, giving me tips, so, like, each song that came out was, like, a little bit better in terms
Mhm.
of mix and master, a little bit better in terms of processing, like, maybe my instrumentals started fighting were fighting a lot, so, like,
Yeah.
talking to someone about cleaning that up, and every step, something else built upon that until where I am right now.
Who are your inspirations?
Um, think I think, like, music-wise definitely a lot of, like, Korean influences. I really respect and actually admire Jay Park.
Yeah.
I sometimes think his personality can be a little like, but
That's his
as
first
a
impression. Yeah. 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 I know what you mean.
yeah, I ran into him once in Korea, and it was just like I was just like, oh, God, God damn, like no. But
Why
he
no?
he was he was hitting on my friend in, like, a really sleazy way, and both of us were just like, "This ain't it, this ain't it." Like, you don't have to um, but I really respect him as, like, a businessman as well as, like, a creative.
Yeah.
I think he has, like, a ton of ideas. His execution is always, like, perfect.
Yeah.
His creative vision for, like, so many different artists that he puts on is, like, so dope
Mm.
that, like, I can't help but, like, admire that and, like, look up to that and want to, like, move in, like, a direction that's similar to that.
Mhm.
So Jay Park in a similar route, Groovy Room.
Mhm.
Um, I think that's, like, the perfect balance of collaboration with another, like, human being into
Mhm.
creating something, and they're always, like their vision and their movements are always so synchronized, and the things that they come up with are so versatile,
Mhm.
um, that, like, from a production standpoint, I'm like, I that's like, these are goals.
Mhm.
Just to have a homie that, like, will stick by you and just you 2 just create hit after hit after hit
Yeah.
after
They've been
hit
around
after
for a long
hit.
time.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
What about what about the flow? Your rapping
Flow.
style. Is who do you try to emulate technically?
Mm, I just feel like me and my other friends that rap also end up having, like, a similar flow. Like, I noticed, like, I was talking to, one of my homies, I name drop him a lot because he's been blowing up, but Kugi. I was talking to him a couple months ago,
Mhm.
and we were just showing music to each other, and he's like, "Did you notice that we kinda, like, flow
Yeah.
similarly?" And then we kinda just listened to it, and we're just like, "Oh," like, we both have, like, a very, like, straightforward, like, da 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 da
I can
da.
hear it. I can hear it.
Um, so, I mean, like and that's usually, like, the group that I run with when I'm in Korea,
Mhm.
just, like, him and his friends. Um, but, yeah, I don't really there's no one I would say I try to emulate. Obviously, when I first started rapping, it was a lot of emulation. When I first started rapping, it was a lot of like Ski Mask
Uh
to Slump God, just like really fast.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but like slowing down a little bit, whether that's just because I was growing up or whether it was just like my idea of like myself as a rapper was changing. There's, like, so many, like, little tidbits of, like, inspiration from people
Mhm.
from, like, Duckworth to people to Kendrick to people to Jay to people to there's too many little
Yeah.
things that I take from everybody to, like, kind of pinpoint just like one person or
Yeah,
like
no,
one
absolutely.
entity.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And um, shout out Jay. You shooters are gonna shoot, right?
You're
Y-
just gonna
You
shoot
miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Scooby Dooby like that.
Oh man, it is what it is. I want to dig into the start of your Twitch channel because I'm pretty aware of it, but I think for the people listening too, I think some of them it'll be a little bit more news to them. So tell me how and when you got started with Twitch.
Uh, so I actually started streaming. Oh boy, it's been like a year and a half, I think. I don't actually know off the top of my head, but I started off streaming Super Smash.
Mhm.
Um, for those that don't know, I used to competitively game
Mhm.
and play Super Smash and go to tournaments and win locals and
Sheesh.
I I played Melee a lot when I was younger, and, like going to tournaments for that. Um,
Come on, tournaments.
a bag is a bag.
A bag is a
Uh,
bag.
but yeah, I started off just doing Super Smash streams, and
Hmm.
then they were a lot crustier than streams are now, which is saying a lot because
Shout
my
out
streams
Stream
can be
Elements
a
Prime.
little crusty. But yeah, I started off with that. Views weren't really popping. It was mostly just like literally like the same four people every time I
Mhm.
streamed. Just kicking in stuff like that. But it I forgot who it was. I think it was like a partner at the time was like, "Why don't you ever stream music? You're always making music. Like,
Right.
I'm sure people would appreciate like just like listening and like watching you do your process." And then I started kind of focusing on that because that's something that I was like way more into,
Yeah.
and also saw as like an avenue to kind of insert myself in.
Mhm.
Um, so started doing that. Um, yeah, everything kind of like it's been pretty tame, and by pretty tame I mean like literally like within the past since all right, this is the end of May, right? So this is the end of 4 months since
Mhm.
like stuff has actually like started to like pick up steam and I can actually see like before I met you and before I met like Jung Simbi like Soyeon
Mhm.
or Canvas or Corey Mex or Phantom House, like I was just like idling around at like 100 something followers and then like within the past 4 months it's like
Yeah.
hit like 800 and I was just like what is like this is weird, like this is interesting, like I'm not used to this, I never expected this.
Mm.
Always grateful for that.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just been like a really interesting change of pace in terms of like when I changed my content and started focusing on music and like
Mhm.
building a community is when like people started filtering through and getting me to the point where I'm at right now.
Love that. Love that. Yeah, I remember when you first told me you started as a Smash channel. I was like, "Well, I didn't see that one coming."
Gotta keep you on your toes, baby.
Always, always. What as because this is for you, unlike me, your I guess you could say experience with music in a way has been much longer than me in the sense that you've said I'm going to be serious about music much longer than I have. And so throughout this whole time, what's been some of your biggest obstacles?
Uh, biggest obstacles. I would say at least one of them is like real life getting in the way.
Yeah.
Um, up until literally now, like in the past, I've had to like juggle multiple jobs
Mhm.
to like support my family as well as like the rest of my siblings.
Mhm.
Um, and just like finding time and the energy to nourish this part of me has been really hard.
Yeah.
Usually that involves like streaming pretty late or like making music pretty late, barely getting any sleep before I go into work the next morning kind of thing.
Mhm.
Um, and just people in general don't operate really well when they don't get enough sleep. So that's definitely been like the very persistent like underlying problem for a lot of my beat block and like
Yeah.
blocks in creativity. I would say just the other one is just like kind of on the same route where it's just like I haven't spent enough time like learning the language of
Mm.
like music production. Whether that's like, okay, what exact I know what a compressor does, but like what exactly does like turning this knob or like
Yeah.
messing around with the threshold or like I can't hear the difference between like 25% dry wet versus 75 sometimes.
Mhm.
So it's just like getting my ears and like myself tuned to the point where like I can actually understand it and
Yeah.
then use that knowledge to kind of further whatever sound I'm going for. Um, those are the two production aspects I think mainly in terms of like lyrics and like just doing flows or like rapping or doing vocals. Mainly it's just like how much do I want to open up to people? Or like am I
Mm.
making like just like a fun song and just
Mm.
like throw that ass in a circle
Yeah.
or like actually
A message.
really like putting myself in like a little bit more of a vulnerable position.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
And I love that you brought that point up, and maybe we could dig into that a little bit deeper, especially with your EP that's coming out next week. What's the route that you took for this EP? Where does your EP fall within that spectrum of just fun and all the way on the other side of the spectrum, a message, a theme?
Um, I definitely think that like if you were to look at my discography, there's definitely a progression in terms of like lyrical value
Mhm.
per se. Obviously some of them and like a good portion of them are just like geared more towards like higher energy
Yeah.
and like oh like let's kick it with the friends, like I'm feeling like a bad bitch, like
Yeah.
let's fucking do it. Um there is one song on there that I took direct inspiration from like a hard time for myself.
Mhm.
Um it's actually pretty much like the very first song that like I've actually based on a negative moment
Yeah.
per se of my life. Um and trying to like transform that into something that people can actually like. Um but yeah, I think it's like I see this EP as a natural progression of just like me developing as an artist and like me developing in terms of like finding out my sound and finding out this is gonna sound so cheesy, but finding my voice
Yeah.
and like how I want to release music and like what I want people to kind of take away and like resonate with.
Yeah. I like that. And in probably later in the stream, I'll be playing a few previews, two previews of Chef Joy's upcoming EP. And throughout the stream, we'll be having in the chat Chef Joy's flow page link. And if you click in there, if you haven't already, make sure to pre-save his EP. We'll be nagging you a little bit more about that throughout the stream. So we talked about your biggest obstacles. Talk to me about some of your biggest joys.
Like Chef Joys.
So the
I was
stream will
so
actually be ending early today. We're gonna leave the fun questions for another time. Chef Joy, it was a pleasure having you.
yeah,
Any
it's
last
been good.
words
I'm in Spain without the S. Let's go.
where you at, Phantom?
Where you at, Phantom baby? Mm, my biggest joys. I think when people actually, I mean, this is gonna sound cheesy, but like when people actually like my music.
Hmm.
Fun fact, I don't listen to my music. I don't listen to my music like I rarely listen to my music.
Yeah.
So when like hearing that like somebody else really enjoys something that I made and I think I don't know if they're in chat, but like Alex one time
Mhm.
sent me a DM and was just like, I feel like a bad fucking bitch when I listen to Pose.
Wow.
And I was like, that's what I was going for. So I'm glad that that worked out for you. Just like hearing stuff like that always brings me a lot of like fulfillment and just like, like even if I'm not doing it for me, like I'm doing it for people that I care about and people that I genuinely want to like have like I genuinely want these people to have a good time.
Mm.
So that always gives me joy. On a less serious note, like finding a really dope sample,
Oh yeah.
something real like
Always.
when you're digging and then when you find that like one good that like
Mm.
hits a little different, like my stream has seen me like freak out over discovering something. Um, that's always a really good one. And then just like meeting people like you or Canvas, just like people that I know support me because I'm me, not because I'm like Chef the rapper or Chef the
Mhm.
producer or Chef the streamer, but like have gotten to know me and like
Mhm.
actively support whatever avenues of like my life that um I decide I want to take.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
that yeah. So like having that support and just like friendship is like really important to me and something that like I think about a lot. I'm
Yeah.
just like, like I'm pretty lucky to have found these people. So
I will say throughout my experience here on Twitch, and there have been very, you could say, more, especially on the side of these people also being streamers themselves, being on the front side of the camera, people including you, I think in a way it helped me. It's just it's knowing that there's another brother and or sister out there working
mhm.
for what they really enjoy. It just gives you that extra ounce of strength when you're not feeling like it to just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Just
think
knowing you have like a team on your back.
exactly, and yeah, and so I would say even, I've only known you for about what 2.5 months, maybe 3,
Yeah.
but it feels like a much longer time, and probably a lot of it has to do with Clubhouse. Definitely a lot of it has to do with Clubhouse. But we never stop busting. That's what I'll say.
Never stop busting.
Paint a picture for me, Chef. 2 years later, where do you aim to be? Paint that picture for me.
Where do I see myself in 2 years? Man, it's like because I'm in such a transition period right now. Like there's like a couple different routes I could be. That could either be in dental school,
Mm.
like trying
Come
to
on, flossing.
become. Shout out mouthwash. Let's go. Um, but just trying to get myself like a really stable career to like make sure that I can always be financially sound enough to like really put in time into music.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just waiting to hear back from one more school at this point. I got
Mm.
accepted to a couple schools, but it's a little out of my price range, so I'm just waiting
Congrats
on
either
one
way.
more. Thank you. So either in dental school, still making music, probably a little bit less time making music so I can focus on studying, but like still
Mhm.
trying to push out releases at least like pretty consistently, like
Yeah.
at least once every season, maybe for a year kind of thing. Um, just so I can like maintain that same level.
Yeah.
So even if it's not progressing, I'm like plateauing, so it's consistent.
Yeah.
The other option would be like me. Sorry, I just read Yeater's comment and it just threw me off
I
for a
read that
second.
too. I read that too.
Uh, the other option would be just literally uprooting myself and taking a chance at like just doing music full time,
Mm.
just finding just a random job, moving to LA, and just pushing music like super hard,
Yeah.
no matter how long it takes.
Yeah.
That one, it's a little bit. I mean, yeah, there's like ups and downs to both. That one I'm a little bit more hesitant about because I'm kind of someone that like even if I don't have a plan, I like being at a stable point. So like if I don't have a plan, I still have something to fall back on
Yeah.
while I figure that out. Um, and I'm always kind of a person that needs to like feel like they're progressing and growing and moving forward. So that one gives me a little bit more anxiety than dental
Mhm.
school, but it's
Mhm.
also I know that I would really enjoy the process of it
Mhm.
and like I can see myself growing not only as like an artist and producer but as a person like by putting myself in that uncomfortable situation. So it's one of those two
Mm. Very
is
different paths.
probably one of those two I'm going to end up in 2 years.
Yeah. Well, either way, I know that it's. I think either way, both make sense. Obviously, one path is quote unquote safer, but I think when it comes time for you to make a decision, um, I think you'll exactly know where you're gonna go. And either way, I know there's gonna be new music from you because at the end of the day, that's what you love to do. So nothing's gonna stop that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still gonna be new music too because DistroKid, you have to pay for that. So I'm not trying to waste money. I ain't trying to waste no money. Of course I'm gonna be pushing out stuff. I paid for that.
Right.
Damn.
It's like, oh my God, it's a new month and they're billing me again.
Exactly. I literally have to release music to make it worth it.
Remind me, Chef. How many siblings do you have, or do you just have one sibling?
Um, So I have four. I
You have
mean,
four siblings.
yeah.
And the reason why I
So
ask is, of the four, how many of them like your music? I'm just genuinely curious.
I don't ever know if they genuinely like it or they listen to it to support me. I know for sure one of them doesn't. Um,
Where does that sibling fall in terms of the age? Like, are they middle, youngest, oldest?
middle. So
Middle.
they're
Okay.
they're right after me.
Okay.
Um, the oldest sibling, the eldest, he he likes it. I would say he listens to it when he works out.
Oh,
But that's
hey,
also
that's
because
not
that's
bad.
also because like most of the stuff that I've released is a little bit on the aggressive
Yep.
side.
Yep. It works.
Um, he just bluntly, he's kind of a Chad sometimes. So like I get it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
the the youngest sibling is actually the one that graduated when I was in Wisconsin, and I flew out and I missed you in Chicago for like
Yeah,
a
I
couple
know.
hours.
So
Yeah,
close.
so close. But I don't actually know if she listens to my music or not. I
Hmm.
just know that when I went to her graduation party, people were approaching me and saying, "Oh my God, you're Chef Choi." And they were like shaking my hand and stuff and like taking pictures with me. And I
No
was like,
way.
what the hell? Or like they were playing my music at their graduation
Oh,
party.
hell yeah.
And I was
That
like,
must have felt really nice.
it was really interesting. They gave me a mic and I was like, I'm not doing this. And they're like, you're doing this.
They're
And I was
like,
like,
"Hey, rap for
okay.
us."
So we did one live performance. I think we did Pose live
You
and
did
then
Pose live? Is
we did
there a
Pose. That was the
video?
first.
There has to be a video out there.
There's a video of me doing a keg stand, but not of doing that.
You know what? I wouldn't be mad if that's the video that I was able to see.
Oh
Wow,
man. Yeah, that was
get this. Chef has performed Pose live once, and what that
only
means
one.
is that's probably not gonna be the last time he performs Pose.
Just only in Wisconsin for some reason. Just
Oh
only
man.
Rachel, my youngest sibling, has done a good job of like promoting my music,
Oh, that is
which is
so
really funny.
that's so cute.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. You and Rachel, what's the age gap?
5 years.
Okay,
So
okay.
it goes a year and a half, and then um the from me number yeah. There's My family's a little complicated, so I'm just gonna narrow it down to the four of us right now. It's me, my older brother, who's a year and a half older, and then my younger sibling. They are 3 years younger than me, and then me and Rachel are 5 years apart.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I just love that your little sis is repping you all the way through,
Promoting it.
and her friends are shaking your hand. Hey, that's I love that.
She was like, you need to release merch. And I was like, oh,
I think you do. I think it's time, chef. I think
it's
it's
funny.
time.
It's just so funny to me.
It should just be a cap with your clubhouse picture. Just you kind of smiling, little cheese, black shirt.
My younger sister was saying I should release cooking apparel,
Cook it. You
like an
see,
apron,
this is the reason your sister just got a bachelor's. There's something up in there. It's working.
like a Chef Joy apron.
You're gonna disrupt the market. You're gonna disrupt the apron and mitten. You got to bring it full circle, chef. The mitten.
And
You
the
you
oven
got to
mitt.
sell the mitten. You got to come in full circle. And the music video, chef, you're
Oh.
gonna have a new track with. It's gonna be called Mitten, and you're running from the cops. Full circle, chef.
Oh my God. The Chef Joy oven mitt. Let's go. Let's go.
Chef, if you release a mitten and apron, I will in the future do a gig wearing your set.
Dude, that'd be so funny.
I will somehow I will somehow spin with the mitten. I will do it.
Bro, all the cooking streams would pop off. Let's go.
It would. Are you actually, by the way, offhanded question,
Mhm,
are you gonna do a cooking
mhm.
stream anytime soon?
Probably when I'm not living in the bunker,
Okay.
just so I can have a setup
When you
where it
climb the
actually is like,
ladder.
oh, like here's a camera pointing down at the food. Here's me cooking the
Let's
food. Here's me
go.
eating the food, kind of thing. Like right now, it's not really feasible because like my setup's in the bunker.
Yep, I feel you.
Once I can like adjust it and have my own space to do stuff, then
I'm just glad because when I first said you were in the bunker, you were there was a lot of reluctance, but hey, you embraced it, and I
still
just
a
want to
lot
say
of
shout out to you.
reluctance.
What'd you say?
I hate the bunker. What you mean?
What do you mean you hate it? I didn't say bunker one time today, and you flat out said I'm in the bunker. I'm like, all right, he embraces it now.
It's grown on me a little bit. I'm Yeah. At first it was like, yeah, I'm above sea level, but like you've just been down bad, so I'm just like, you know what? Maybe I do deserve to be in a bunker.
I mean, hey, cooking streams, if that's what it takes for you to retire from the bunker, I approve.
If that gets me out, hey,
Hey,
bag is a bag.
bag is a bag.
Bag is a bag.
If you could collaborate with any artist next year, I don't know why I said next year, but just give me two names, at least two names. All right, we'll make it fun. Two names, one past, one present.
One past, one present. Dang, past one? Um, Dang. For past? Dang, for past. I mean, they haven't passed.
Okay.
But I've been listening to a lot of like old Lil Mama,
Mm.
like that era of like hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
like America's Best Dance Crew era hip
Yeah,
hop.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And I think
Okay.
I would want to make a track with her. 'Cause I think that's just like a lot of fun energy.
That would go.
It's
That
like
would.
very, very dancey. Like
She be saying, "Give me that good, good too."
what's poppin'? It's poppin'. What's poppin'?
Present.
Present. I don't know if you're familiar with this person. They go by Toby Lou.
What's their ethnicity?
He's black. I don't know how old he is, but he has like a lot of like if I were to describe his music, it's very cute hip hop.
Okay.
And it's very like but it's cute, but it's like very shoulder shimmy hip hop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He has like
Softer.
this re yeah, he has this really dope like tone to him, and it's all like all of his songs are always goofy as hell, but like they hit.
I
So
think I'm familiar. He's got that crazy hair.
yeah, like the
Yeah,
little
the
pom
little
poms.
bunny, the Mickey
Yeah,
Mouse. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think he's super dope. I think he's super creative, and like I would want to either like produce with him or just hop on a track with him and just see how he is as like a person.
Yeah.
I think that'd be so much fun.
A big reason why I always ask this question is I'm just I'm just gonna have living proof on my YouTube video. Check it out. Chef Joy at this moment, this is when he proclaimed that he was gonna collab with Toby Lou. So there it is. Last music related question. What advice would you give to those looking to start rapping and producing? So it doesn't have to be, together, but if you want to talk about rapping first and then producing, give your advice to those looking to start out.
Um, Let me start with producing first, because that's always like, in my opinion, that's so much harder.
Hmm.
Or they're harder at different points.
Mm-hmm.
Producing, you have to stick with it
Yeah.
because it's going to suck at the beginning. Everything, you're going to be very overwhelmed looking at whatever DAW you're using, Ableton, FL, Logic, Pro Tools, like no matter what you're using, you're going to be like, what the hell am I doing? Where is
All the
everything?
time.
How do I make this sound good? And you kind of just got to move past that doo-doo part and like push through and like really spend the time to understand where at least things are and
Yeah.
like what kind of like experimenting with different effects. I always tell people who start producing that you don't start producing until like a year after you've started using Ableton
100%.
because there's
It's a
so much,
language.
yeah, there's so much you need to learn about like how to operate in the program that it won't start making sense and like you won't have a workflow until you understand all these different things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's one of those things where it's great to have as a hobby, but you also like to make stuff that's decent, you need to put in the hours and you need to like push through a lot of that like nothing makes sense kind of like
Yeah.
those moments because those moments are natural and it's super fine and you should be having those moments because it's frustrating as hell.
Yeah.
But like what you do after those moments is going to dictate like whether that becomes just some like a phase you were into or something that you really invest in
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and like invest in yourself for that kind of creative growth. So just perseverance, at least in terms of um production. In terms of rapping, and I'll kind of open it up for like singing too.
Yeah.
Um, I guess there's like 2 points I would say. One is confidence. Um, like plot twist, I hate my voice. I absolutely hate how I sound sometimes, especially on songs. I hate how I sound. But I've learned to accept that and I've learned to work with how my like what's going into Ableton, like what I'm giving into it and making that sound as good as I can.
Yeah.
And also just hearing positive feedback from like people being like, oh, you actually sound really good on this. And so then there's like a little bit of a reframe where it's like, hey, like maybe I'm not as bad as I sound.
That affirmation
People
always helps.
exactly.
Hmm.
So having confidence, not only as like a vocalist and stuff like that, but like that translates into your recordings as well. You can tell when somebody is confident in their singing or rapping
100%.
and people who aren't. So to get the best sound and also to like really develop as a vocalist, confidence and like being okay with your own sound is really key. Um, and then in terms of vocalizing as well, just like practicing.
Yeah.
Like it's such a blanket statement, but like I go about like I mean, SP, I like say stupid stuff all the time, or like I'm like rhyming really stupid things together a lot, and just like the stuff that comes out of my mouth sometimes I'm just like I don't know why this is coming out, but it kind of has turned into a habit of me just like I hear one thing and I'm like okay, like let's just come up with like a silly thing that rhymes with bear, like hair,
Hmm.
like look at this big old bear. SP got fake hair. Chef Joy down in the bunker, but please don't call it a layer. Like, just like
Yep.
random stuff like that. Like you have practicing that over and over makes it easier for you to like put lyrics together, and find the words for whatever path you're going through with your like how you want to approach your vocals. So
Hmm.
those are two things for like rappers and vocalists: the confidence, practice, and then for production, it's perseverance.
Hell yeah. I appreciate that. We're gonna move on to fun questions. Would you like to take a break now or after the fun questions? We're good.
I
No sandbox
got
needed.
you got my full attention, my
All right, here we go.
guy.
Let's just dig. Let's just dig. I don't know why the chat is just going beans right now, but it is what it is.
You I made a on my last stream, it got real degenerate, and I went to the mic and it just went bing, and then we turned that into a synth, and then we were playing around with it, and then we actually made a beat using it, and it kind of hit a little hard, and so all of us are like, "What the hell?" It was a good time,
There we
but that's
go.
probably why I debate and Canvas and Phantom. Yeah, there's a lot of beans.
There we
There's a
go.
lot,
A lot of protein.
so much protein. Shout out
Hobbies.
legumes.
Hobbies.
Hobbies. Making music. What do I like to do? I like to cook. I like to make music.
What is the dish you're cooking to impress your romantic bucket?
Mm. Oh, like what's my like? Oh, like
What's your impressive meal?
I know how to cook, and they're like, no, you
Mm-hmm.
don't. Then I cook
Well, what's the
something.
meal you're gonna cook to set the tone?
Jajangmyeon.
Somebody's gonna need to wipe those lips.
Jajangmyeon.
Jajangmyeon.
It's a little
just
messy. That's
just
fine.
slurping. Just a lot of slurping.
That's
Hey,
fine.
that's
That's
respect. That's
fine.
the first time
We
somebody responded with jajangmyeon.
we're getting really comfortable the first time I'm cooking with somebody.
Just
Like we're gonna see some vulnerable moments, and that's gonna bring us closer together. At the end of the day, like you're gonna smile at me, you're gonna have a little black thing around your tooth right here.
mhm.
I'm gonna be like, oh, there's a little, let me get that for you.
Oh wow,
Like
he's digging. I mean, it
there's a
makes
whole
sense. You're trying to go to dental school, so you're not afraid of the looking at the teeth.
not only that, it's just like, hey, jjajangmyeon's bussin'. Like some good
It is.
jjajangmyeon.
I don't disagree. So wait. So you're telling me you would? All right, then let's dig deeper. First, where are you taking your first dates usually? What kind of cuisine?
Um,
What
actually, on a
is a Chef Joy first date?
Chef Joy first date is actually not to a food place.
Where are we going?
Chef Joy first date. This is gonna be based in Oakland.
Okay.
Let's say I'm having a first date. And just like, hey, like we're in Oakland, like let's hang out. First date would probably look like me taking you to a lake. So there's a lake in Oakland called Lake Merritt. There's a little parkway and a walkway around,
Okay.
and we walk and we just talk and we get to know each other, and maybe we'll sit down on the grass and look at the lake and have like a little light picnic. Maybe
Okay.
I'll bring some kimbap or something like that. Maybe we pop a little champagne just to like ease a little bit of the tension off. But like I don't like sitting down for a first date and having a meal because I feel like that puts a lot of pressure on both people to like
Mm.
really like you're the focus.
Mhm.
You're just the focus. I have to focus on you and like
Mhm.
have this conversation. Like I like, okay, we're doing this. Like look at that. Like, oh my God, there's two people like fighting next to that dumpster. That's
Yeah.
crazy,
I
isn't
like
it?
that.
Or like, oh my God, like when's the last time you flew a kite? Like I haven't flown a kite in years. Like maybe we should for our next date fly some kites. It opens up so many more opportunities when you're
I
just
like
like
that.
doing other things. So I would that's like first date would just be like chilling, doing something and like maybe having a picnic to like enjoy and like
Oh,
not have it
oh, oh.
be
So
like
you said a
a strenuous
picnic. Oh, okay.
activity.
You mean like sitting down though, right? Or,
Yeah, just
okay.
like or like a park bench or like near Lake Merritt in Oakland, there's a
Yep.
taco truck that is my go-to
Oh,
spot
come on now.
because
Respect.
my friend owns the taco truck. So then I'm like, oh,
Oh,
like, hey, how
okay.
you doing?
So
I'm
there's
just
this
like,
whole
oh, I'm here with
process. This process has been set in stone. The dude owns the truck. Your friend probably owns the lake. Your
you.
guy is probably flying the kite. It's all in place. It's
No,
there's
no,
nothing once you said the guy owns the truck, I'm sorry, chef. This smells fishy.
no. He just owns a taco truck.
Okay.
That's it. That was his passion. I like to support him when I can. That's all I'm
Does he
saying.
own the kite too?
If it takes a first date to get him some business, then it takes a first date to get him some business.
The
His food is dope too. Like
the
he does like
song the song Pose has a deeper meaning.
I hate you. I hate you. I you ain't I never interview oh nah. I'm
Let me guess, a zebra is gonna come through too, right? Soon.
hey, to be fair, I sent Phantom that picture.
You
Phantom has the
oh
picture of the zebras.
Phantom, I need the picture. Send it. I need proof. And if it's some
Phantom
potato
literally
looking photo for
You know what?
240p,
I will send this to you right now.
send it to me right now.
I will send it to you
I will
right
show
now.
the stream right now. I'm waiting.
Okay. Where is it? 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 I'm just gonna screenshot it from Phantoms because it's gonna take a minute.
All right.
Phantom Mouse. Oh my god.
So
Like
real quick, the
you know
zebra.
what? You know what? Here.
Yeah, yeah.
You know
Just
what? Here. It's a little out of focus.
okay. I see the zebra. But
There's two zebras right there.
is that a dress shirt or a shirt? You said you were at a wedding, right?
Yeah, it was cold. I
It
had a
was
jacket on.
cold. That's a shirt. I see no jacket.
No, it's a jacket.
Oh,
It's a jacket. It has a little zipper.
Phantom said it's his
Yeah,
wallpaper.
but yeah,
All right.
those are the
All
zebras.
right. Respect. So two of them.
Yeah, there were. I mean, there was three of them, but I only got two.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I
All
only
right.
got two in the shot.
Respect. I mean, hey, it's hard to get a picture with two zebras that close, so I buy it. I buy it. All right. How? Nah, we'll move on. Favorite food,
Favorite food.
and if I want to make it
Uh,
harder, island food. You know what that means when I ask that. You're on an island. You got one food dish to eat for the rest of your life.
See, it's a toss up between two. So
Is
I'm
it?
like a really big noodle guy.
I can clearly tell.
Send nudes. Um, so it would either be jjampong or Canvas knows what I'm talking about. There's this Dongshimi Kuksu place in
Oh
LA.
yeah.
It's one of those two.
Wait, what was the first one?
Jjampong.
Jangbong. Okay. Okay. So you a big Korean Chinese cuisine kind of guy. Respect. Respect.
I
Wait,
do
so
love it.
when you go, is it really what you're feeling? Like do you pick one or the other most of the time, or is it really game time decision?
It's really kind of like if I went to a restaurant and they had jjampong or no, actually, the Dongchimi-kuksu is only at this one restaurant in LA.
Mm, mm, mm.
Like that's the only place you can get it
Mm-hmm.
because they don't even allow takeout because they don't want people stealing their recipe.
Wow. It's that.
Yeah,
Wow. That's crazy.
it's that good. It's
Wow.
really like it's really good.
But the jjajangmyeon and jangpong question, it's a game time decision. Which one you're
Oh,
ordering?
between jjajangmyeon and jjampong, always jjampong.
Oh, always same.
Yeah,
I agree
I
100%.
don't like I enjoy jjajangmyeon, but like if I had a choice between the two, it's always going to be jjampong.
Mm.
Yeah,
So I always ask, give me a crazy embarrassing story. I want to hear a crazy embarrassing story from the DJ days.
from the DJ
Give me
days.
one. And, and
From
if
the
you don't say
DJ
you have
days.
one, I know you're lying.
I know, I know. That's why I have to think of. It's more of a decision of which one do I want to tell you.
Exactly.
Um, from the DJ days. Actually, there's one from Vegas. So
Wow.
I one of my friends pre-COVID had a residency.
Okay. Which club?
Um, it was Dre's. Um, and I think I was oh uh chat. If you're gonna drink, please drink responsibly.
Absolutely.
That is my main message behind any of this. If you're gonna drink, drink responsibly. Okay? Be safe. Don't make dumb decisions. That being said, I may have had a little too much to drink, and I think at one point Carnage showed up,
Mm.
and he was behind the decks as well, and I got to meet him for the third time. And my dumbass slapped his ass and I said, "How you doing, papi chulo?" And he was wearing glasses and he just deadpan stared at me and he took off his glasses and I just saw the like deadest, most over shit like face I've ever seen on a person. Like it was like if this is disappointment, he was like way down here.
Because the thing is, he always
Like
looks mad to begin with, so I can't even imagine what he looks mad.
and the only thing he said was nah fam. And then he like motioned his head and then these two big guys showed up. And I was like, wait a minute now. Wait a minute now.
Hold on.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
Hold
Like
on.
I'm with this guy who is, the resident DJ, but my friend was so embarrassed about what I did that he looked at me
Oh no.
and then he just went like this.
Oh
I was like,
no.
oh, oh,
Oh. What did
yeah.
you
And this was
drink that
behind.
night?
I had it was I think I had like 4 or 5 Long Island iced teas,
That will do it.
and it was like,
And you're probably in Vegas, so you probably drank that quick.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
And we pre-gamed,
Yep. He downed it. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Shout
But
out Carnage.
shout out Carnage. That's the last time I ever saw him. But
Joe,
yeah,
Chef, this is what I'm saying. If you ever collaborate with Carnage, that's when you know you just don't need any other milestones to hit. That right there, that's peak.
he, I think that bridge has been burned very thoroughly.
Give me two truths and a lie.
Two truths and a lie. Um. Oh, I'm trying to think of creative ones. Is this just for you or is this for your chat as well?
Both.
For both. Okay, that changes it. All right.
I mean, you could do it for me if you want, and I could guess.
One would
Okay.
be I am I'm not like great at it, but I'm like proficient at like actually designing my own clothes.
Okay.
Um, the second would be I used to own a motorcycle and I used to be able to drift.
Ooh. Come on, donuts.
Yeah, we used to do donuts. Um, and the third would be I'm actually really allergic to honeydew.
Is this for me or the chat? Or
It's for I guess for everyone.
all right. Chat, I'm giving you guys a minute. Which number is the lie? He said, first one.
First one was the first one was that I can design my own clothes.
Right, design clothes. He can drift on a motorcycle,
It's
and
drifting on the
he is
motorcycle, and
insanely
three
allergic
is
to honeydew. They're saying 3 is the lie.
yeah, they're saying three.
All right, I'm going to give it 10 more seconds. Oh, we got some 2s in there. I'm going to say my ultimate guess is 2. Verdict?
Is this the
Yeah.
point where I reveal?
Verdict?
One is a lie. I am actually allergic to honeydew. And I used to own a motorcycle and used to get into some degenerate stuff.
Come on, GTA.
Come on, GTA. Come
So
on,
what
side
so
shows.
what happens when you eat honeydew?
My throat closes.
We don't want that.
I've only had honeydew once.
I mean, that is a crazy thing cuz Koreans love honeydew.
Koreans love like I can
Does the smell of it, is that okay, or
no,
that's
no,
also
it's like the melon itself.
wow. So you can't get
So
near it.
like so sometime like it's like melon flavor is okay. Like
Yeah.
I can eat a like melona,
Yeah, yeah. Thank God.
and the only thing that will happen is like it'll get like a little
Oh,
itchy
it'll
and
still get itchy. Damn.
my voice gets a little raspy,
Uh-huh.
but like also it's a melona, so I'm trying to have that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Facts.
But yeah. Um it's only honeydew though. Like I
Okay.
can have cantaloupe. Cantaloupe well also
Huh.
cantaloupe is kind of like a C tier fruit. Um
Yeah,
but
nobody likes cantaloupes. If you're having
nobody's
cantaloupes, you took an
passionate
L
about
for the day.
nobody's like, "Oh yeah, cantaloupe. Oh yeah."
Yeah, exactly. Nobody.
Like I can have watermelon. Watermelon's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Oh, thank
honeydew.
God. Yeah, as long as you can have watermelon, you're fine.
Yeah, watermelon's good.
Yeah, I'll put honeydew tier C too.
Yeah, it's
C tier.
like a mid-low C tier.
Mm-hmm. Last
Well,
concert you've
it's
been
like
to?
F tier for me. 'Cause last concert I've been to Astroworld.
No way. Was
Mm-hmm.
that in LA?
San Francisco.
Okay. Crazy,
Yeah,
probably.
it was very crazy. I
Jesus. What
broke
year was
I
that? Was that 18?
yeah.
18?
I wanna I wanna say 18 because I was still I don't know off the top of my head. I have to look at my shirt.
Pete
Um,
Pandroid's comment.
Chef, I ain't about to lie, but I'm at Lake Merritt right now watching you. We could have been at Lake. You want me to head over there right now?
Pandroid, are there any kites? Taco trucks? Any? Favorite?
Android, the taco truck is at the southernmost. If you walk west a little bit from the southernmost part, you know where it kind of curves, and then there's that big parking lot into the hotel. If you don't go turn that way from the pathway, but you actually turn to the left, you'll see the taco truck, and then you can tell them that Jeff says hi.
There we go. Hey, if you're in the mood for tacos, Pandroid, you know where to go. What do you listen to in the car?
Who have I been listening to in the car? Been listening to it's mainly just hip hop stuff. Mahalia,
Mm.
um, Rico Nasty.
Mm.
Uh, I've been listening to a lot of like the latest season of High School Rapper.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
How is it, by the way? I haven't actually watched it. It's good.
the yeah, yeah, the
That's good.
youth, the youth be hitting different.
Ah, man, I don't know, man. They crazy.
There's well like there it's interesting because there's like a couple of them that have already been established, like
Yep, yep, yep. Wasn't Dr in it?
the arc the arc is in it.
Yeah. And then what's the other guy's name? The little
There's
blonde tips.
yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a couple like there's a kid who's already been signed to Higher Music who is participating, and I was like, that's just not fair.
Wait, was
Um,
that Big Naughty?
no, that's
Oh, the younger guy. Yeah, I
I
know
don't
what you're talking
yeah,
about. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Um, but listening to that, one of my friends has been putting me on some music lately, so it's actually been like a lot of like melodic slash lo-fi stuff.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, because usually the only time I'm listening to music in the car is like on my way to work,
There
and
we
it's
go.
like 3:30 a.m. So I'm like, I'm not trying to like rage at that early.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
feel that. Last one. Favorite drink.
here I'll give you two. I'll give a non-alcoholic and an alcoholic one.
Wow, respect.
Yeah, because it differs.
I mean, cause hey, we got some youngins in here.
We do got some youngins who, when they get older, will drink responsibly, so they don't slap carnage on their ass
Nobody's
and get
slapping
kicked out of
carnage
Dre's.
ever again. No.
Don't do it. I'm looking at you, Jabate. Don't do it. Um, so I really like jasmine tea. I
Okay.
really like jasmine tea.
Respect.
Like I've had about 4 cups of jasmine tea today,
Ooh.
and I'm probably gonna have some with dinner. And then
Ooh.
we have the iced jasmine tea that comes in that like like the green tea bottles, they're
Mhm.
like plastic, yeah. And they have
Mhm.
jasmine tea ones. I usually drink like one or two of those a day.
Mm.
Um, and
That's
then
pretty passionate.
yeah, yeah, like it's a daily thing. This is actually cold jasmine tea.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Um, and then for alcoholic, I would probably say strawberry soju.
Ooh, man, you don't get hangovers from that? Wow.
Strawberry soju is the only one that I don't get hangovers from.
Yeah, the flavor just kill me. The next day is just
Pain.
yeah, it's just you just scratch that day off. There's nothing you're gonna do that day.
That's usually just me with like harder liquor, but I found that soju I don't usually get hungover.
Mm,
If anything, I just feel like gross during drinking it, then the next day I feel fine.
yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, those are the two drinks.
All right, so those are all the questions I prepared to ask Chef Joy. And so before we go on to the AMA with the chat, here is a sneak peek of 2 tracks on the upcoming EP by yours truly, Chef Joy. The command exclamation point chef is going to give you his flow page, flow code. And in there's a link to pre-save it on Spotify. If you haven't already, do it right now. And without further ado, here is the preview of Chef's EP. First one, which one do you want to do first, Chef? Bleeding or Rags?
We can do bleeding first.
Perfect. Here's Bleeding.
Broke my heart
heart to pieces, didn't know that's what I needed. Fighting with some demons, they hear anger, you're the reason. My scars only deepen, they won't close, I keep bleeding. Baby, I keep bleeding, oh baby, I keep bleeding. Broke my heart to pieces, didn't know that's what I needed. Fighting with some demons, they hear anger, you're the reason. My scars only deepen, they won't close, I keep bleeding. Baby, I keep bleeding, oh baby, I keep bleeding. If you need me, I'll be there.
Whoo. Whoo. Just when you thought we were going to keep going, that's what we call a little sneak peek, guys. And then the other one, which you could technically say this is the title track. Is that right, Chef? Rags to Riches?
This is the title track, and also like it's a good spot to plug Swoo from earlier, because
Why don't you go ahead?
my collaboration. This is my collaboration with Swoo. SP mentioned at the beginning she was the very first special guest that SP had when he was doing these streams, and me and Swoo's paths collided not only because of Canvas but because of SP, and now we have a song together, which is actually the title track of the EP.
Bim bam boom. Rags to Riches. Here we go. Preview.
Chef Joy, what you cooking?
Rags to riches, you be with your bitches. I like me a girl that's coming up, it's independent. Girl, you're hot as summer, make that money, go and spend it. Fuck your DMs, let me show you all the shit you're missing. We can make a movie, let me take you to the top. I got all day to be with you, we ain't never gonna stop. I'm just going day by day, making moves, I'm on my way. Money coming, no delay. Swerve, yeah, tell me what you into.
Come on, fade out. All right. So once again, guys, pre-save link in the chat. Pre-save it. Helps a lot. And now, so Chef, right here, before we get AMA, you want to take a little break, or are we going to go deep?
Do you need to take a break? I mean, we can do a quick sandbox.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
I need some more tea anyway.
Yeah, you need tea. I need water. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Section, maybe, yeah, that part, and then we'll tune it down to here. Get it, huh? Yeah. I got 10 initiative, make a better cover, girl. Yeah. I be moving, I be busting, I got Henny double cupping. No discussion when I'm busting poker face, but I ain't bluffing. Homies puffing, never passing, you don't want another section. If it's you, see a Tinder, I be ready for my matches. Need a down, bitch, I don't even deserve it. Got a table at the club, I don't even reserve it. If your girls see me with their friends, they come over flirting. Leave your main boo off, how these bitches deserted. I'm popping off till the morning, bilingual tongue in her foreign. Oh, when they tell me I'm gorgeous, we kick it off, how we scoring. She's small, but ass is enormous, my engine sputtering, roaring. Like how she throw a bad, she bounce out as I New Orleans. I'm with my homies in Florence, we making money moves. 10 toes down, she be stripping ones in her shoes. Not looking for a main thing, just looking for an interlude. Chef Joy, Rama be fucking with entertain. Want a minute, you laugh.
Till the morning, bilingual tongue in her foreign. Oh, when they tell me I'm gorgeous, we kick it off, how we scoring. She's small, but ass is enormous, my engine sputtering, roaring. Like how she throw a bad, she bounce out as I New Orleans. I'm till the morning, bilingual tongue in her foreign. Oh, when they tell me I'm gorgeous, we kick it off, how we scoring. She's small, but ass is enormous, my engine sputtering, roaring. Like how she throw a bad, she bounce out as I New Orleans.
I got some homies, we in the lab, Dexter Studio. Chef is on the lyrics, will SP on Call of Duty flow. I'm so allergic, but got your kitty purring. If you bout it, I'm digging deep, burrowing. I got bitches here wishing I'm Millie Rock washing dishes. I like to kiss all these women, then pray to God he gon' witness. I fitness slow and you'll miss it. She working posting no fishes. No, I don't work on the weekends, I'm busy acting suspicious. Are you a bad bitch? Feel magic. Hit it one time for me, you a savage. Give me space, I don't even have to plan it. At the disco, but baby, never panic.
Okay. I think I needed that more than you did. All right, chat.
Be like that.
We are going to put, let's see, we're going to put 10 minutes on the clock. We're going to do our AMA. We always do this. You can feel free to ask any question to the handsome and talented Chef Joy, and he's going to answer them all. Go as spicy as you want, but it's up to him to answer the questions. If he feels that the question is not bussin', he doesn't have to answer it. So, chat, if you're ready, here we go. 10 minutes on the clock. Go. If you couldn't produce music, what else would you do, Chef Joy? Love yourself.
If I couldn't produce music, I would probably be really into making art, whether that's digital or painting.
All right. Phantom House asks, Wendy's?
If you know, you know.
Trina, how did you get your bear?
It was a gift.
Do you
But
know
I
where
know
the
it's from
bear was
Costco.
from? What was it
I know
from
it's from
Costco?
Costco. I know it's from Costco, but it was a gift.
That's what I thought. Okay. It was a gift.
Mhm.
Laku, are you in a romantic relationship with the bear?
It's strictly professional.
Esther, do you have a favorite piece of music that you worked on?
Coogie moving and moving.
There we go. Check it out. Keyblade, Chef Joy, is it okay if I do a digital drawing for you?
Is it okay if I call you the kindest and most awesome person?
Aw, what an answer. Jabate, where did the dino suit go? Oh my god. What did you guys do? Oh. Oh, I thought he was putting it on.
It's right there.
It's right there. Esther asks, when are you going to bring back the onesie?
I
mean,
just brought it back.
Yeah, he just brought
What
it
do
back.
you mean?
He
I just brought it back.
It's right there. Laku. Is it Laku or Laku?
It's Laku.
Laku. Okay. Strictly Professional is Cat. Man, you made that bear throw it back on you.
No. The bear threw it back, and I accepted it. Okay,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
a
yeah.
difference.
It was consent.
It
There was
was
consent.
mutual. It was
Mhm.
mutual.
Savvy, do you like coffee?
I love coffee. I drink way too much coffee. I
Go
also
to
work
order
at a
at a
coffee
cafe.
shop, so. Go to order at a cafe. I usually will get a. It depends on my mood. Usually just a coffee with a single Splenda in it. If I'm actually feeling a little spicy, I'll get a cold brew.
There we go. There we go. Love Yourself asks, what is something you like to do to just relax?
Literally just sit down and do nothing because I don't get a lot of time to just do nothing. So just existing sometimes is really helpful for me to like refocus and like reground myself.
Facts. Keyblade, do you like any specific style of music?
In particular, Korean R&B. I like the chord progressions. I like the movement of a lot of the songs. Also, a couple of my friends are Korean R&B artists, so I like to support them.
There we go. Jen, dream location to tour. That's a good question.
SP knows Singapore. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Oh man, we're gonna make it We're gonna make it happen, Chef. Laku, who wins, rhino or hippo?
Hippo. Hippos are freaking scary, and they're super territorial. Rhinos are a little bit more on the docile side unless provoked. But a hippo is a massive creature, and I think a hippo's jaws could probably break a rhino's neck way quicker than an impale from a rhino would harm a hippo.
Keyblade 10. Phantom asks, well, he didn't ask. He's just stating, come to Brazil.
To Brazil? Bola Ribola, let's go. Let's get it.
Esther asks, are you a Warriors fan?
I am actually not a Warriors fan.
Who are you a fan of?
I'm not. So I used to live in Ohio for a little bit, so I'm actually a Cavaliers fan.
2016 shout out, best run of
Oh,
history.
you know. Oh, you know.
If you know, you know. One of the greatest.
You know, you know.
Honestly, one of the most amazing moments of my life, probably as a witness. Jesus Christ. Jabate asks, Chef, when are you gonna lab with Da Baby?
He hasn't responded to my DM yet. That just says, "Let's go." So I guess when he responds to that,
Right. Padme, if you had to choose between Phantom and Pandroid, who would you choose for a date? Only one. That's tough.
I would struggle, but I'd probably choose Pandroid because I can see us getting into less arguments because Phantom critiques and helps me with my music, and I feel like I already frustrated him with that, and I wouldn't want to like bring that into our relationship. So I think it'd be probably a safer bet to date Pandroid, where our styles would be complementary of me making music and him dancing to it. I think that would have a better balance. Nothing against Phantom, because Phantom's a cutie, but I think
Absolutely.
it would make most sense in terms of our relationship.
Demo home shout out. Keyblade, how do you do the whole DJ making music thing?
Um, Usually, okay, so DJing is usually through a program like Serato. Like I use Serato, and that basically just means downloading a whole bunch of MP3s or waves and then just dragging them into the mixer and you mix them together. In terms of production, that's going to be through a DAW using Ableton or Logic Pro or Pro Tools or GarageBand even. Or like there's some like mobile apps you can make music on, and that's a process of taking different samples or different sounds and just laying them onto a track and like creating a cohesive thing. And both of them take a lot of work and both of them take a lot of time, but if you put in the effort, then you can get started.
Keyblade asks, would you and SP teach me how to make music?
Um, I am not actually, it's really funny you say that because I teach, but I'm not a good teacher when it
Mm.
comes to like I have a tendency to get frustrated unless it's like something that is very clearly the focus is not on like the teaching, it's on the process. Um, so like for instance, I teach music production to kids, but it's more about
Oh, you
a
do?
focus. Yeah, so I run a non I think I mentioned have I mentioned this? I
Uh-uh.
run a nonprofit
First
where me
time.
and my friend we made a mobile studio and we went to different school districts and we in different neighborhoods and
No
they're
way.
like there's a neighborhood that's pretty close to me that like they it's very notorious, or I wouldn't say notorious, but there's a lot of gang activity there and a
Yeah.
lot of like shootings. So like we went there and we kind of opened up like, okay, well like it's important to go to school or like do these things and you can use like physics in school in terms of like music production
Oh,
or
that's
like
awesome.
using English and like language composition and stuff like that into writing lyrics. So collaborating with schools to do that. So there's a couple kids that I talked to one today where he produced something and I gave him feedback on it, but it's more focused on the process of him discovering what he wants to do
Yeah.
rather than like doing music
Right, right, right.
per se.
Love that. Love
And
that.
it's a lot easier for me to teach something like that rather than like very straightforward,
Yeah.
just like this is what you do, this and this and this. Because for me, it like it there's a yeah, I
Agreed.
prefer not to, but like I don't mind, especially if I have the time and energy to do it. I wouldn't mind.
Agreed. Love yourself. What would your own house look like?
What would my own house look like?
Underground? 4,000 under? Dirt?
Um, I would it would actually be pretty minimal. It'd be
What's the
pretty
color palette?
minimal. Color palette is beige and also like earth tones.
There we go.
Mhm.
I think this is my favorite question so far. Savvy asks, do you like cute girls or bad girls?
Savvy, ¿por qué no los dos? A cute girl can be bad and a bad girl can be cute.
That's true. That's true. Debate. This is probably my second favorite. Why did you slap Carnage's ass?
'Cause we had met, so he actually was the DJ one time when I was in Vegas for my birthday, and he let me go up and spin a couple tracks, and I thought we were cool, and I was also not sober. Mistakes were made.
It is what it is.
It is
Jen,
what it is.
what advice would you give teenage Jeff?
Find a different crowd of people to hang out with.
Ooh. Wait, what is this high school Jeff you're telling?
Yeah.
Respect, respect.
Mhm.
34 seconds, guys. Make it count. I I saw like one spicy question. Come on, guys. I know we got in this. We need some more tahini up in here. Come on, man.
We need more gochugaru up
Come
in
on,
here.
man. You
Let's
already know.
go.
with some Cholula, with some Tabasco.
Oh,
Come on. Chat, 14 seconds.
God, that's too funny.
Well, the cute girl. What did you ask? What did you answer though? All right. I mean,
I mean,
you. No, let's
there's
go back to the cute bad. What's your preference? Preference.
friends, a baddie,
All
but
right.
like I will never like that's not like to say like if it's like a cute girl and a bad girl, like I'm like it. There's so many other things that
Right.
take into account
The
that
bucket
like
theory.
yeah, I guess I don't like supporting the bucket theory.
just say yes. All right. Last question. A biggest turn on.
When a partner knows what they want. You can take that in
Mm,
any context you want. Like
facts.
whether
Do
that's
they want chicken parm
really
or Alfredo?
exactly
Mm.
do they know what they want to do in life or not? I mean, actually that one's less so because I don't think I know what I want to do with my life. But like when they're like, this is what works for me.
Do they want serum or Silent?
Do they want FL? Do they want Ableton? That one's an
Ah,
important one.
that's
That one's an
if
important
she
one.
says
That's an
FL, she's
important one.
gone.
If she says FL, I'm moving her out to Spain.
Mm-hmm.
She can go hang out with
We're
Phantom.
we're pushing her to the place where the Wi-Fi is weak and it rains all day.
You know it. You know it.
All right, so that ends our AMA. Last part, Chef. The floor is yours. Talk about self plug, anything you want. The mic is yours.
So as we've said before, I do have an EP coming out June 1st. Um, the link is on my Flow page. You can pre-save it there. I also do stream on Twitch. My schedule is a little all over the place, but a lot of times it's music production. I kind of follow a similar format as SP in terms of like what we do. So we'll have sample flips every now and then. I do a music review. Other times we just play Jackbox or just hang out. Uh, I do have a Discord, but like it is what it is. That's pretty much all I would want to plug because like at the end of the day, I just enjoy your guys' presence and you all staying around and not only supporting me and like sticking around for this, but supporting someone that I view as a close friend, SP. So just if I'm gonna shout out anyone, it would be you all for just like continually being just goated people and very sweet, genuine individuals. So shout
Sh-
out you all.
Shout out SP fam.
Shout
Well,
out
Chef,
SP.
it was an absolute pleasure. I really did get to know you you're a harpist. I already knew that, but you're also a French hornist and a
Yes.
pianist, and there was another one. You were a drummist. Was there a fifth one? No, it was
Abletonist.
yeah. You were a midiist.
Midiest.
But Chef, I had a lot of fun. I think the chat really enjoyed it too. And once again, I'm really excited for your EP. I was able to take a listen to some, if not all of them, and I can vouch for my brother here. You guys are gonna love the EP. So pre-save it once again if you haven't. Chef, I'm sure I will be seeing you very soon, whether on Discord, on Tetris, on Clubhouse, or maybe in real life. Who knows? So until then, Chef, stay smooth, stay bussin', and have an amazing rest of your night.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right. Take care, Chef. Peace.
Bye.